Hi, I'm Cash, and welcome to Cash Talks Football, where I break down all the goals scored from every team in the Premier League, using my over 20 plus years coaching experience to try to make maybe you want to become a better coach or a better player, or learn something from these muppets in the Premier League that don't really know what they're doing. Now, Pochettino is to me, he's just an overrated coach. He's not very good, and I'm going to show you why right now. As this ball comes in, right, you can see this back 4, 5, however many players you've got here. Now, the reason why this is bad defending is because there's not a second line. And you're going to find out the reason why you need two lines, okay? Right now, if you didn't know that, you go, oh, why do coaches do this? Right, you're about to find out straight away. So this little wee man, he's on the ball here, I think it's Anthony Gordon, and he's going, and you can suddenly see the difference, right, of not holding your shape. And there is a massive gap here. Well, that's huge in football terms. You know, it's being like 5 seconds ahead in Formula One. You're never going to catch them, right? So all of a sudden, when you're looking at something massive space like that, because they're not in their shape, look at how many players here you've got marking a single striker. All right, you've got two marking one. He's got to stay there because he's got to cover the gap. He's got to cover the... So all of a sudden, you've got 5 back here, 2 in midfield, and there's this huge gap where people aren't doing their jobs properly. Look, he's got his hands behind his back because he thinks he's going to be shooting. All of a sudden, watch what happens. Ball goes in. Now, everybody was marking this player, panics and starts running towards the ball. You can see it. Look, running. They've all got eyes on the ball. Because basically they've never played a game of football in their life. And also, there's no one there to put pressure on this ball, so they all panic. And this guy here on the ball does something quality, takes his little touch, takes his time, and he picks out a pass. Watch, bosh. Everyone's pressuring the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4 players around him. He's not marking. This guy, left back, I wouldn't have him in my team. The more I'm watching this kid, he's awful. He's absolutely awful defensively. I don't know why he keeps getting played. But it's Azik, this striker. He's actually quite decent, to be fair. He's going to get more goals this season. He's quite quality, and you'll see right now. Boom, as a touch, got acres of space. Here's the old moaner here complaining, oh, it's not my fault, I should be marking the player. He's offside. No, it's your fault. You should have been marking him. You weren't. It's not good enough. Right, but watch this finish. It's a cultured finish. Bump, picks his spot, drills up to the far side. Really well done. Here you go. I want to show you this finish. Now, if you're me, you're probably thinking, I'm going to be putting it into the net box over here. This guy doesn't. He fires it into the top corner over there. Watch. Bump. Dummies it that way. Opens up his body. Bush. Bump. Quality. Look, when he opens up his body, can you see where his shoulders are? So, whenever I'm doing coaching courses, I explain where the ball's going. Shoulders and hips. The ball looks like it's going that way. Shoulders and hips. The goalkeeper reacts on shoulders and hips. That's why he's going down here. And the other guy just puts it into the far side of the net box. That's why it's such a good finish. Do you see he's going that way? Because that's where his shoulders and hips are pointing. And he's turned through it and put it the other way. That's why it's so important to know what you're doing with your shoulders and hips. Because the person reacting will just react. Because they've got no time to stop, think. It just happens. Well, let's just get on to the next goal. This next goal's a free kick from Raheem Sterling. Probably one of the only really attacking threats that Chelsea have. I said that in a video ages ago, and nothing's really changed my mind on that. He's the only one really that knows what he's doing in the final third. However, this free kick that goes in is awful, and I blame the Newcastle goalkeeper. I'll show you it first, and then I'll show you the part that I'm going to point out that's absolutely awful on this free kick. Here we go. Steps up, whacks it into the net box. Great. Yeah, but let's have a look at the angle and see what the keeper's doing. Okay, so here we are. Now let's just first of all talk about the point of having a wall. The point of having a wall is to cover a certain side of the goal. Okay, fair. So the keeper doesn't have to be in the centre spot, which is about there. He can be further to one side, so he can cover this area while his wall is covering this area here. Watch where this ball goes in, though. Let's have a little look. As he goes in, bosh. It goes right there. Keeper can have that. He can get that ball. If he's a Premier League goalkeeper, and actually look, I've just seen why he can't do it. Because he's not actually on his line. His feet are in the wrong place. He doesn't actually know what he's doing. Yeah, he can't get there because his whole body shape and demeanour is wrong. Now, if the ball is there, he's never getting it. There, he is getting it. It's too close to the inside there for him not to get that ball. And any of you going, oh, no, there's no way. Yeah, it's because you haven't played and you haven't seen Premier League goalkeepers against free kicks. That is easily savable for someone of his quality, and he hasn't done it. That's awful. It's a rubbish free kick, to be fair, from Sterling, but he's got away with it. Let's get on to the next goal. Okay, on this next goal, again, it's Chelsea's defending is pretty awful. And Thiago Silva, I class, even though was he 38, something like that, I still think he's a quality defender in situations. He's never going to make you into the top 4. He's not good enough anymore, but he's still a stable defender for an average Premier League team. which Chelsea are right now an average Premier League team. They've got lots of potential in their youth, but right now they're average. And I want you to look at this little wing play here. So we got a winger here. Well, someone who's wide, not a winger, because it's very rare any wingers play anymore. So he's trying to beat his man, and they're trying to use this little space here. Can you see this little gap that's emerged here? We're going to call this the half space. We have a runner, and he starts using the half space, and he starts doing something awful in the Premier League, telling everybody where he's going. Oh, I want the ball to go there. Really? Couldn't have guessed. That's where your run is. Why are you pointing at me, mate? I know I play with you every day. You don't need to point to where you're running. I can see where you're running. But because the rest of these players are all terrible at the football, what they all do is they go with the runner. Watch. Push. They all go, and opens up this space in the middle here. Okay, this space here, all opened up now. Massive gap for Chelsea. And there's a queue, look, there's a queue right here of players waiting to head the ball. This idiot here, look at him. He's not marking anybody. I would never have him in my team. He needs to be right up behind this guy, screaming at his defenders that he's got 2 on the overload. Instead, he's not doing anything. There's 3 players behind his centre-back, and he's not telling his centre-back to come back and mark someone. Look, you see 2 Chelsea players, and then there's a Newcastle player behind him. What are you doing? You 2 are marking nobody, and there's 3 players behind you to mark, and this guy here hasn't said a word. His body shape's wrong. Look, his body shape is still facing his own goal. So if the ball hits him, boom, he's going to score it. He's not even back. Look, at least this guy's facing the right way, trying to clear the ball, but this guy isn't. He's awful at the football. Boom, 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 jockeying. What am I going to do? I'm touching my player. All of a sudden, the ball comes in, and it's nothing ball really, absolutely nothing ball into the box. And Bosch is headed in, completely and utterly unmarked, free header in the box from a ball about 25 yards out, and you can all see it happening because these 2 players are not being marked, and this guy here, number 3, doesn't know, I think his name's Cucurella, doesn't have a clue how to play football. Right, you don't mark, okay, right, if you've got a choice of marking these 2 players, this is all you can do, is mark one of these 2 players. You mark the one that's closest to your centre-back mate there, and you leave the one on the outside. Why do you leave the one on the outside, which would be this player here? Because that means if he's on the outside, there he is, look, boom, you're on the inside, oh, look, and you're marking the other player on the inside. Oh, look at this brilliant drawing, right? You're marking here this player, but if the ball goes over your head, you've got a chance to cut it out or run in and try to make the challenge here. If you're over here behind this guy, you can't challenge this guy because he's in your way. Exactly what's happening here. Let's have a little look. I'll show you again. Bosch. See, he is in his way. He can't challenge this guy because he's too far away from him. Instead of being in between both of them, Bosch, easy, tap in, goal. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Let's get on to the next one. Honestly, in that last clip, the keeper could have probably done better as well. He's just as bad as the football, but we'll get on to the next one. Right, here we go. We've got a ball getting played back here to Thiago Silva just after singing his praises. Commentary curse. Of course, he's at fault for the next goal. All the time in the world. Really? Right, do you see when this player here, he stood still? Okay, because of his lack of movement, he doesn't have an option. His option should be there. This player should be there. Right now, he's not. I think it's Reece James. He gets sent off. He's terrible at the football as well. I don't think he's played 3 games in a row since 2020 or 21, something like that. He's terrible at the football. So right now, this guy's got not many options. That isn't the reason he makes this mistake, but it's on his head. Right, bump, and he kicks the ground, and Bosch runs in and smashes it into the net box. Can happen to anyone. Does happen to Thiago Silva. It's one of those things as well. If he's in your squad and that's happened, you're not saying anything to him because he knows he's made a mistake, and he's probably saved you more goals this season than he's ever going to make a mistake on like that. It just happens to be in a game when you're 2-1, you make a mistake. Now it's 3-1. Next thing you know, Reece James is sent off, which he is. There's no need to show you. It's not a VAR decision or any of that rubbish, and the game is completely and utterly changed. Stupid mistake. Okay, this is actually quality. Someone's coaching, obviously, to do this. I used to do these coaching runs where what we do is we have 2 people here, 2 lines here passing the ball in, and 2 lines running like this, breaking the back line. So these 2 are starting from cones here with a back 4 like here, and you're making curved runs from around the back 4, exactly what this run is going to do. So watch this run. He's going to come here from inside to out. He's going to start and he's going to come. It's going to call a button hook if you do American football. And he's doing that and he's running away. Right, let's have a little watch. Watch how quality his curved run is. You start seeing it. This guy isn't close enough. He should be screaming right now. As soon as this ball, he should be able to see this movement, right? The reason why is because he's starting to run inside. Let's see, as soon as he's starting to run inside, this guy should have already seen that and started going. He's got no clue whatsoever. I'd be already dropping back. Now, I know they're down to 10 men, and also, you're down to 10 men. You're playing a super high line for the ability of your team. You're not good enough to do this. You're just not, and you're about to be found out. Oomph. Great curved run. Now it's just off to the races. Now, see how casual he is running back? Casual. Well, he's determined to win the football game. I know it's 3-1 and these guys are probably going, the game's over, which I kind of get, but you still put 100% in. How pathetic this attempt is here to win the ball. No real sort of enthusiasm or anything to win the ball. Just go on there, mate, and he just scuff shots it. Bump into the corner. Keeper should have done better. Just want to show you how quick... Look, the lack of defending that this guy does here. Not close enough to make a challenge. Not really good enough to push him to the outside. Duff. And what I mean by a scuff shot, he hasn't really followed through or tried to hit that hard. He's just kind of stuffed it into the far corner and it's gone in. Keeper again should have done better. But thanks. I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.